Alright, so this next part now is, let's see where I left off. I think I left off after color. Yeah, after color. Alright, we'll go to clarity now, which is sharpness. See if I can focus. Which is sharpness. Sharpness adjusts the picture detail. So if you want your picture to stand out more, adjust sharpness. Don't go too high. Default it's 50. If you want to go 10 on regular TVs, you go to 60. If you want to go 15, you go to 65 on this TV. All of my TVs, I usually have it around 20, even watching movies. So I have it on 20 here, which is 70, which is equivalent to 70. But don't go too high. You'll start introducing artifacts and stuff like that. Go down to reality creation, which is, it just adjusts the fineness and noise for a realistic more picture. It gives a picture more realism, but I wouldn't call it that when it comes to certain things. Because when you watch movies and stuff and you have it on too high, it's just too grainy. It just introduces more grain. So they have 3 settings, which is manual, off, and auto. Auto is basically 50. It's at 50, and manual is whatever you want, and off is there's none at all. So auto is like the best you can go, the best you will want to do basically, but auto seems to be a little bit too sharp a little bit, so I'll keep it a little bit under 50. And which is 40. And no, during 4K content though, when you have it on auto, it doesn't do anything because 4K is so clear and there's no noise and nothing like that, so it doesn't turn on. But when you do have on manual, you can introduce more fine lines in 4K if you want, but not too much, because you would introduce a lot of grain. Mastered in 4K is grayed out because this is not a Blu-ray. This only works when you turn on, when you're watching a Blu-ray. It just enhances the Blu-ray, makes the 1080p footage looks at least close to 4K. I wouldn't say native 4K. It looks close to 4K. So that turns on automatically when you're watching the Blu-ray. Now all of these noise reductions now, it's for watching cable and, you know, not good quality sources as like Blu-rays and 4K Blu-rays and, you know, Vudu or Apple TV and stuff like that, because all it does is just blurs the picture. It tries to take away grain, take away noise, and it just blurs the picture because it's trying its best to take those things out that's normally there. So it does blur the picture. Digital noise is the same thing, but that's for like watching like old 480p content and stuff like that. You want to turn those on during like 480p content. Smooth gradation, it gradiates the color to look a little bit more smooth, so you don't see lines separating each color gradation. So, but when it comes to video games, it kind of messes up the video game, messes up the clouds and stuff like that. So if you want to test it, you could just look up in the cloud in the video game and turn it on. You'll see that the clouds look blurred together, like they mix together instead of like detailed. They'll look smeared together. So you want to turn that off. It's a good feature, but I think the chip does it automatically to an extent. But I think if you want more punch to it, you could turn the smooth gradation on. But I wouldn't suggest you do it. It just blurs stuff together. The clouds wise, not really per se the image itself, but certain things it blurs together. All right, what's next? Motion is next. This is really interpolation of the frames of 24p content. If you want a smoother experience, I think when you have it on smooth, it the frames are no longer 24. It goes up to 124 frames per second, so you do see a smoother picture, smoother image. But it does introduce artifacts, especially fast moving content. You really see like a trail of the pixels, really fast, like jets going across the screen in like 1 second. You will see a trail. If you don't want that on, you can turn it off. And also, there's like a noise around. Like if you have a person on the screen, there's like noise, or if you rotate the camera, you see like haze or noise around the person or the animal or something. That's what it's just trying to make more frames for stuff that's not really there. So it's making its own frames. So you don't want to have that on if you want a clearer picture, but if you want a smooth picture, you turn it on. Cinemotion is basically it enhances these features right here, which is smooth, standard, clear, true cinema, and it makes it more smoother. So if you want like ultimate smoothness, you put it on smooth and you turn Cinemotion on high. Now if you want true cinema, which is watching 24p content, you put on true cinema and Cinemotion on high, which will give you 24 frames, but it'd be a smoother 24 frames without introducing any kind of artifacts or anything like that. It was just gonna be a smooth 24. But I'm a fan of the soap opera effect. Don't shame me because I am, but I do like the smoothness of it. I don't know what it is. Maybe I grow out of it one day, but right now I really like it. Plus this TV is really good with the motion too. So that's basically about it. HDR mode is on auto if you're watching HDR. If you're not watching HDR and you put it on HDR 10, the colors are too saturated. So you want to keep it on auto. If you're not watching HDR and you put on HDR 10, it's gonna look too oversaturated and colors are all out of whack. But if you're watching HDR auto and HDR 10, it's the same thing. It doesn't do anything because it already picks up that it is HDR 10. HLG, that's another feature that this TV just got in a recent update. When it comes to watching HDR content, you put on HLG, it dims the colors. There is HDR there, but it dims the color. It dims everything. It's like a high. How can I explain this? It's like a more punchier SDR, if that makes any sense. It's not a full HDR 10, but it's like a punchier SDR. And offers obviously no HDR. But why would you want to do that? Look at the difference. Look at the contrast. Look at the color when you switch it. You want to keep that HDR on. What else we have here? The video range auto full gives you 0 to 200 and something amounts of color, 268 or something like that. So it gives you the full bandwidth of colors. Limited gives you what is it? I think it was not 0. I think it's 30 something to 230 something. I might be wrong, but it's not a full color range like what full is. And I think when you put it on auto, yeah, auto is the same as limited. I don't really see a big difference in color, but I would keep it on auto. TV knows what's best. Yeah, I'm not really seeing a difference on full. If anything, you'll probably get more deeper blacks when you put it on full. But then again, just leave it on auto. Let the TV do its thing. Color space is what the content you're watching, what it was mastered in, what color it was mastered in. Auto is whatever is being played right now. The pt.3, that's the standard for Blu-rays and stuff like that, TV shows. The DCI is colors that's really kind of made for like watching computers and stuff like that. So is also the Adobe RGB. These are all computer stuff. And the BT2020 is for like HDR content, which is like on 4K Blu-rays and stuff like that. So when you're watching HDR and you have it set on BT2020, you're not going to see a difference if you put it on auto. But if you're watching SDR now and you put it on BT2020, the colors are going to pop more. It's not going to be that saturated, but certain things don't look too right. Like if you have like a red hat, like a character have a red hat on and the top of it is like pink. If you turn BT2020 on to a non-HDR content or footage, that pink will no longer be pink, it'll be red, just like the bottom of the hat. So it like deletes the pink and just turns it into red. So I would just keep it on auto if you're not watching HDR. And that's kind of basically it. And reset if you don't like any of these settings that you messed with. But that's about it, really. I hope you guys kind of understood the stuff that I was saying. Kind of pinpoint what you wanted to hear, or if you have any more questions or whatever, you could just ask me. Since I got this TV, I just been interested on everything about this TV. I don't know what it is. I'm in love with this TV. But yeah. And these videos are going to be shot in 1080p, obviously, so you're not going to get the full experience of the 4K, but in order for me to make these videos a little longer, I have to dip down in resolution to make storage. But yeah, any questions, just ask me. I'll try to explain it to you a little bit better. This is my first time really trying to explain to you guys what's going on. I'm almost to 200 subscribers, so I'm very happy about that. I cannot complain at all, because that's actually a lot of people in my book. So I'm kind of grateful for that. At least I know there's a lot of eyes looking at my content that I'm putting on. But again, guys, thank you for your support. If you have any questions, just hit me up. I have all my information in my about screen. Anything you want to know, email me or hit me up on YouTube or Instagram, whatever. Just let me know what you guys are curious about. If no one else is answering the question, I'll see if I can answer it myself for you guys. But anyway, stay tuned for more videos. I'll see you guys later.